कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा गोकुलानंद श्री राधे जय राधा गोकुलानंद श्री राधे जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you so much for joining everyone this evening. So today we have verse, don't think it is updated here. So it's from chapter 10, verse 4-5. So we'll do prayers first and then we'll go with the verse. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Brascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much for joining. So we'll look at verse. I'll say the Sanskrit, and if you can repeat after me, I'll go one line at a time. Yeah. Buddhi Jnanam Asammoha Kshama Satyam Damakshamaha Sukham Dukkham Bhavo Bhavo Sukham Dukkham Bhavo Bhavo Bhayam Cha Bhayameva Cha Bhayam Cha Bhayameva Cha Ahimsa Samatatustis Ahimsa Samatatustis Tapodanam Yasho Yashaha Tapodanam Yasho Yashaha Bhavanti Bhavabhutanam Bhavanti Bhavabhutanam Matta Eva Pratagvidaha Matta Eva Pratagvidaha. Thank you so much. Translation. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy, all these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. Krishna says this in chapter 10. So before we go into verse, let's look at, let's zoom out and see where we are exactly in Bhagavad Gita. So anyone who has read Bhagavad Gita before? Here? No? Okay. So Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters in total, and it is divided in 3 parts. So the first 6 chapters, it is called Karma Yoga. So the knowledge of the yoga of success, Karma Yoga. And the middle 6 chapters, which is 7 to 12, they are called, they have knowledge of Bhakti Yoga, or the yoga of love, the devotional service. And then the last 6 chapters are come under Jnana Yoga, or the yoga of wisdom. So we are in 10th chapter, which means we are in the center of the Bhagavad Gita, which is the 7 to 12, which is under Bhakti Yoga. And the 10th chapter, which we are going to see the verse from today, in 10th chapter, the title of the chapter is Opulence of the Absolute. So opulence means wealth. So what is Krishna all about? So Krishna is explaining in this chapter all about himself. So he started that in chapter 9 itself. He's talking about himself. He's giving secret knowledge, confidential knowledge, which was Raj Vidya. And now he's going into the absolute knowledge of it. So he's talking more about himself and how to understand him. So this is a chapter in which he also shows his form to Arjun. And in the center of the chapter, there are 4 verses. So every Shastra has its like a jewel, like the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. So the 4 verses, which is also called Chaturshloki, or the 4, which is Chaturshloki Gita, or in those 4 verses, there is the essence of Gita is there. That 4 verses are in this particular chapter. So the summary of this chapter is, in the first few verses, Krishna talks about that he is source of everything. So everything comes from him. In Isha Upanishad as well, it is said that Om Purnam Purnamidam. So he is the whole. And from him, the whole, if you remove anything, the whole still remains because he is infinite. If you remove anything from infinite, the whole still remains as infinite. So he is saying that he is source of everything. And then in the middle of the 10th chapter, he is actually Chaturshloki. He is giving the essence of Gita, that what exactly is the message, which is to surrender onto Krishna. And then in the last few verses, he talks about his presence everywhere, that he is present in each and every atom and each and every ounce of this material and spiritual world. So he is everywhere. So that is an overview of 10th chapter. Now we'll go into the first part, the verses which we just now read. Maybe what the purport is quite long, so maybe we can read along and then also try to unpack it side by side. So so Prabhupada in this first sentence, what he says is, different qualities of living entities, be good or bad, are all created by Krishna. And they are described here, as you saw, non-violence, satisfaction, and also fami and infamy. So negative as well as positive qualities. So sometimes the first question comes that positive is okay, all good comes from Krishna, but how come bad is also coming from Krishna? So that sometimes hits us, like how is that possible? And then Prabhupada explains there, ye yatha mam prapadyante. He explains in chapter 4, I think verse 11 it is, where whatever you want, Krishna gives that. So if we look at the pastime of Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad, so Hiranyakashipu was a demon. He was the greatest demon. So what he wanted, Krishna provided him to become the best of the demons. And Prahlad, 5-year-old, and he provided what he wanted. He wanted devotion and love of Krishna. So when Hiranyakashipu was so fed up of Prahlad always taking Narayan's name, always taking Krishna's name, and he's like, can you stop doing that? I am the God. Why are you taking Krishna's name? And then he's like, why are you not scared of me? He's like, he's like the great demon. And he's 5-year-old boy, and his father is trying to kill him by some or the other means. And Hiranyakashipu once was so troubled and fed up, and he's like, where do you get your energy from? Where do you get your power from? And Prahlad gave a very beautiful answer, from the same place where you get your power from. So it is the same source. And he said that he is our father. So I also get energy from him, and you also get energy from him, which was really a very, ego-hurting thing for Hiranyakashipu. And then he became mad, and later on he, hit the pillar from which then Narasimhadev came. And this is what happened. That frame of that picture over there shows you what happened later on with Hiranyakashipu. So this is a beautiful example where everything, whatever is there, good or bad, everything comes from Krishna. And as we saw the example, so it is for us, Krishna gives us free will, isn't it? He gives us free will that we have to choose. And what if he didn't give us free will? Yesterday, in one of the sessions, we were discussing why Krishna has to give us free will. He can just, like dictate what he wants and everything will be nice, because we don't have, our intelligence is not that fine and we might choose wrong things. So why even he is taking chance? But then that is his love, that if he is not giving free will, then there is no love between them and him, them and us, isn't it? So that is his way of loving us, and that's why he gives us free will. So he, even after saying the entire Bhagavad Gita, at the end he tells Arjuna, now you decide whatever you want to do. I have given you all the knowledge, now you decide. So sometimes I'm a mom of a 12-year-old, and I sometimes try to control things, and because she also attends Bhagavad Gita, she's like, Mummy, even Krishna gave Arjun choice and you're not giving me a choice. I'm like, okay, now I have to really, she's using Shastra against me, like that. So yes, Krishna gives us choice, isn't it? He's very lovable, and I'm possibly not that lovable, Mom. So yes, so let's look at the first quality which we have. So here, buddhir, intelligence. So here, the intelligence which Krishna is talking about, that's not the academic intelligence, which we have. This is more of what do you say, the subtle and the fine knowledge. For example, if I say 5 kg potatoes are for 2 pounds, so there's no intelligence in there. It's just a fact. You collect it and you use that information somewhere. So there is no intelligence involved in it. But if I say body is not cause of soul, or soul is not cause of body, then you are thinking, okay, what is she exactly trying to tell? So body came and soul is not the cause of it, but then soul is there, and then on top of it there is body, isn't it? So there should be some cause. So cause is desire. So now you have to really think, okay, so this is intelligence. This is where we have to really think and analyze what was told. And in scriptures as well, when you start reading, sometimes people, that's why don't turn to Bhagavad Gita or spiritual scriptures, because they feel it is very difficult to understand. But Srila Prabhupada has made it so simple for us. For each and every Sanskrit word, he has translated it into an English word. And for each and every, and even if you are struggling with like Devanagari Lipi, he has also done transliteration, which means he has converted everything into English, where you can read Sanskrit, but it is like English. When you read it, you can use your pronunciation and get through it. And then there is a translation as well, and then he has given the description of everything, what it means, what that verse means, and so that we understand. So previously, there is one book called Salted Bread. It's all about how Krishna consciousness spread in Russia, and then in those days, because Russia was a communist country, they used to write Bhagavad Gita by hand. And then it used to get passed, and then somebody else used to then write. So this is how they passed the Bhagavad Gita underground. And if they were caught, they were either killed or they were really given a very bad treatment. So you should read this book, Salted Bread. And then that really gives us a perspective that, oh my God, it is so easy for us. We can just open our phone, go on Vedabase and start reading Bhagavad Gita. But it is still so difficult for us to, reach to it. So we really have to take advantage of what is available to us. In that sense. So we were talking about intelligence, and we were talking that intelligence here, which Krishna is explaining, is not the material or gross intelligence about the information. So nowadays, intelligence means that if you know this much, then you are intelligent. When we are in a meeting or when we are with friends, and then they talk about certain topics in politics and think, like, this person is very intelligent, but they are just collecting information. They are just an information box. That's not intelligence. So, we are going in the wrong direction when we, our perception of intelligence has changed. But the real intelligence is understanding the finer things of life, understanding the crux of it, and then looking at the scriptures and understanding them. So that is real intelligence. And when you start reading, you might find it difficult, but over the time, because of your your endeavors, Krishna gives you that strength, and then you start developing something called Shastra Chakshu. So Shastra Chakshu is your ability to understand scriptures. So that starts developing when you endeavor. So when you endeavor, then Krishna also starts giving you that, that strength. He also starts taking steps towards it. And then again, the more you listen, the more you read, the more you understand, and the intelligence starts becoming more and more finer. Like this, there are small things, like sometimes this is still a noisy place now, but morning class is really like pin drop silence when the person is talking, and then some people when they walk, they're like dhar, 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 the way they will walk, like, because they are not able to get, their fineness is, the subtlety is not there. So they are making that voice, but they are not aware of that while they are walking, their footsteps are making that everybody is, instead of listening to the person who is giving a class, they are looking at this person who is walking. And some people you will say that, see that they will, they like tiptoe and walk because they are so subtle, and they are so careful about this. So this is when we start moving from gross to subtle, and our intelligence starts refining, and then we start looking at subtle things. The way my daughter sits on sofa, like, even I move when I'm sitting beside her. I'm like, Avni, why are you doing that? So it's like, there is some grossness. And then over the time, you will see that some people are very subtle. They will come, you will not even, come to know that they have just came in the room, or they are so fine, refined in their actions. And though that refinement in their physical actions are because they have refinement in the internal process as well. So the external helps internal, and the internal helps external, like that. It goes complementary, like that. So somebody who is, when they are walking, they're pushing people here and they're not aware, internally as well, they are like that. Their makeup of their mind is like that. They are not very, very together, we can say. The second one, which here Krishna says, is knowledge. So again, here as well. So in terms of knowledge, I was just reflecting on this when I was preparing for lecture, and decades back, when I joined as a young software engineer, I was, like, full of myself, like, okay, I'm joining this IT company, and I was a developer at that time, if it makes sense to any one of you. So I remember that every time I used to have any problem, the seniors in the team, they used to direct me to this one particular person, and all the young people who all joined, this person used to give us, tips on how to solve that error or how to take care of that issue. And then I was really, like, wow, this person is so intelligent. Maybe they have gone to a very top-class university or something like that. And then over the time, I became friends with this person, and, over the tea break or something, I asked him, like, which university you are like, everything. You are, like, so smart. And he's like, I, like, asked, which university you did your software engineering or computers? And then he's like, that I didn't do computers. I'm like, okay. I'm like a commerce student. I'm like, oh, wow. And then at that time, I was, more foolish than I am now. But it didn't make sense. But now when I think back, I'm like, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. It is just his experience, because he was doing it day in and day out. He didn't need a software engineering degree to do that work, which I was feeling that, oh, wow, I am like this person, and, I can do X, Y, Z. And then that was my understanding of knowledge, and our understanding of knowledge, that our degree, which we have, that's our knowledge. But here, Krishna talks about something different. Krishna talks about understanding the difference between spirit and matter. That's knowledge. Understanding the difference between spirit and matter. So Krishna here is not saying, or Prabhupada has not explained that don't take material education or not. It's not that. He's saying that we have to be wise both spiritually as well as materially. Just material knowledge is not enough. The spiritual knowledge as well is important. So the understanding of spirit is important. So that's knowledge. That is jnana. And then the third one is asammoha, which is freedom from doubt and illusion. So, one of the greatest illusions sometimes we have is that, everything is nice and happy in this world, and I can be happy in this world. But the real happiness, if you see, so there is one thing which I heard somewhere, and it was really very profound. Every happiness is pregnant with future sufferings. every happiness is pregnant with future suffering. Just apply it to any happiness, and this formula is true. Apply it to car, like you have a new car and you are like very happy, a new member in the family. Sometimes people call car as new member in the family, and then you are so worried about it. You are parking, you are just taking at night, you are getting up, so is it there or it has gone, isn't it? Has it got scratched? I remember when we got our new car, my husband was like, you do make sure you park properly, and he used to be very careful. He used to call me, have you reached? Have you parked properly? And I used to also go early to office so that when I park, I have two bays vacant so that I can park nicely and I can take my own time. So every happiness is pregnant with future sufferings. Anything you take and apply this formula, it is always true. So that is our, it is called asammoha, that we have that illusion that these things, these material things will give me happiness. But then that is kshanik, flickering, and then later on it goes and something. Then you want something else, and then you feel that, oh, this is what I was dying for. It's not having that of a value, and then you have something new to look for, and then you chase that, and then you keep on chasing. If you look back 10 years back and then just see what I was mad about at that time. Oh, this, and now I have everything. And then you think like, oh, this was it. For this, I was really so eager about to have these things, but now I have, and it doesn't give me happiness anymore. And then that is when instead of going outward, we have to start going inward and see how I can be happy. And then Krishna also, Prabhupada also explains here that philosophy kills illusion. So this illusion which we have, that this thing will give me happiness, that a new job will give me happiness, or a promotion will give me happiness. So this illusion will be killed by philosophy. So when we understand Shastra, when we understand the depth of it, then we understand that, okay, this is kshanik, this is flickering, and this is just for that moment, and it is not going to give me fulfilling happiness. And it is just a chase behind, it's like a carrot, like that. The next one is Kshama. So Kshama is like quite straightforward, forgiveness. But again here, Prabhupada is not saying to just forgive and forget. Remembering is very important. Yeah, when we forgive something or somebody or some situation, we should not forget that situation. Otherwise, we have not learned anything from that. And then the same lesson, we will have to go through the same lesson again. So we have to wholeheartedly forgive, but then we shouldn't forget it. We should remember the lesson from it and then apply it every time we go through same situation again. So that is Kshama, forgiveness. And then we have Satyam, truth. So Prabhupada says here, let me read this from truth. Satyam, truthfulness, means that the facts should be presented as they are for the benefit of others. Facts should not be misrepresented. According to social conventions, it is said that one can speak truth only when it is palatable to others. But that is not truthfulness, isn't it? People say that, oh, it should be, it is, when we are in a workplace or something like that, of course we have to follow these things, but then it is not actually truth, is it? It is not, isn't, and that's why you see there's so many issues at workplace and things. So Prabhupada is saying here that that is not truthfulness. When you think that I should not say it because it is not palatable, so I should not say it. So that's not truthfulness. The truth should be spoken in a straightforward way so that others will understand actually what the facts are. If a man is thief and if people are warned that he is thief, that is truth, isn't it? Although sometimes the truth is unpalatable, one should not refrain from speaking it. Truthfulness demands that the facts be presented as they are for benefit of others. That is definition of truth. So that is very beautifully Prabhupada has given here. And one of the example which, and that's why you would see that whenever you take advice from sadhus, they would always refer to Shastra, because they don't want to give you wrong information, something coming from their heart or something, because it could be speculation, it could be their own mind. So that's why they always refer to Shastra. Sadhus always refer to Shastra because they know that for a given situation, if you're asking for help, then only Shastra can give you correct advice, like that. So here we can take an example of a doctor. Like if a doctor doesn't tell us, for example, if we are overweight and just because it is not palatable, he is not telling us that you really have to look at your health because your parameters are not looking quite good, then it is injustice against a patient, isn't it? So that is one of the beautiful example of truthfulness on how it should be always practiced, even if it is not palatable. And then there is damba, which is a control of senses. So keeping our senses in check, or keeping our senses in control. So the 5 senses which we have, they are more outward, and they are more of giving you information for your survival. But they also can cause havoc. Especially when your mind is let loose, then all your senses could really create issue within ourselves. So here Krishna is talking about damba, which is controlling of senses. And so keeping our senses away from things which are not favorable for spiritual progress. So anything which comes between you and Krishna, that should be avoided. So that is a basic, simple logic. Anything which comes between you and Krishna is not favorable. Yeah. So, and then next is sukha, or happiness. So experience of a favorable situation as per mind is happiness. This is so nice, isn't it? Sukha or dukh. So, they keep on changing. And ananda is different. Ananda is ever increasing. That's bliss. And this is sukh dukh. Because after sukh comes, dukh will come, because then that's the pattern. So, say for example, if I love gulab jamuns and I eat 1, 2, and 3, maybe the third one, I won't be able to, finish it. So then that sukh becomes dukh, isn't it? Just in like moments. So that is explanation of sukh and dukh over here. That anything where your mind feels that this is favorable becomes happiness. So now the weather is like just right, but sometimes it is very cold, then it is dukh. But the same cold when when it is very hot. The same cold, when it is very hot and boiling, you feel like, oh, wow, it should rain. Somehow it should rain, like that. And then, the opposite. So this keeps on going around and around. So it is mind's favorable position. So there was one of the story which I heard from, I don't know from where I heard, but this particular sadhu, he had some gangrene or something on his finger, and it had to be operated. And this doctor came and he said that, we have to operate it, but it will pain because I have to cut and things. So I'll give you anesthesia. He said, no, don't give me anesthesia. You can do it. And then he went into some meditative state, and this doctor did the thing and cleaned up and everything. And the sadhu didn't even, his face was as, calm as it can be. And then after a couple of months, this doctor again came, and this sadhu was, sleeping. So he felt that last time the whole operation happened, nothing happened to sadhu, so I will remove the dressing. He is anyway sleeping. And then he touched it, and he's like, he shouted. He's like, that what happened? I thought, you're like, but no, you should have told me. So what he did was, because he was going into that meditative state, he was able to control his mind and go into that zone where then he detaches himself from the body. And then he is able to go through that pain, because then the pain doesn't become suffering. But the doctor didn't understood the science, and then he tried to do it while he was sleeping. He felt that nothing will happen. So that's the definition of sukha and dukha, which is completely based on how our mind is perceiving that thing at that moment. And then there is I'm just conscious of time. Okay, we have. There is bhav and abhav, or birth and death. So, the cycle of birth and death. We go through the cycles of birth and death. When we take a birth, we have a purpose, and the purpose is to realize Krishna. So, realize divinity and then go back to Krishna. But if we don't realize that purpose, then Krishna keeps on pushing us. If you zoom out and then just look at the arrangements in your life, Krishna is always trying to push you towards him. He is always trying to call you. There are various scenarios you will see in your own life where Krishna was always trying to pull me, and then we have free will, so we do what we want to do, isn't it? So we are those kids who are rebellious, like that. So if we don't realize, then we come again. And how we come? We come based on what we have done in this life. So somebody once told me a very beautiful thing, that the benefits which you are seeing now in your life, like a particular status or a particular financial position or a particular position in society, it is all because of your past karmas. And whatever I am doing now will be responsible for my next life, like that. So we are actually creating our new body. We are actually creating our future self. So now we have a free will. So do we want to create our future self, a body, physical body, to come back again here, or do we want to create a spiritual body where we don't come back and then we go back to Krishna? So that is our free will. What we want to do? Do we want to come back, or we want to go to Krishna? So you have a choice of having a physical body. It could be anything. It could be man, woman, or dog, or any other tree, or it could be a spiritual body where we will be back with Krishna in the spiritual world, like there in that picture. So that is bhava abhava, and then we have fear. So fear is suffering of future unfavorable situations. So we are always fearful. Always there is some tension going on, because happiness is pregnant with future suffering. So as soon when there is a happiness, then it comes with an expiry date. The clock has started ticking, isn't it? So we realize that, and then there's always a worry. You have a child, then will they walk, or are they properly? Are the teeth coming properly or not? Will they talk properly? Then they go to school. Will they be safe? Are they getting bullied? And then they become teenager, more problems. And then later on, and somebody like me, even after 40 years, my mom calls me and gives me a lecture like that. So some children never grow like that. So fear is something which is always, because why fear actually, if you deeply think, fear comes because we feel that we are controlling, that I have to do it. Like, I am a mother, I have to take care of my child, I have to take care of house, I have to, I'm in office, I have to do all these things. So like that I am the controlling factor. But as soon as you release that and see that it's Krishna, it's divinity who is all pervading, and he is doing everything, and I'm just instrument in that. Then there is a release, and then there won't be fear actually. Then if anything is happening as per your expectations, Hare Krishna. Things are not happening as per expectations, Hare Krishna. Because because everything is happening by sanction of Krishna, like that. So Prabhupada once gave an example of some African, I don't know, chimpanzees or which type of monkey it was. But in Africa, there is a tree, and the seeds of the tree are as hard as bullets. And these monkeys in that vicinity, they eat this not bullets, but they eat these seeds as if they are eating, peanuts. So you see that everyone's food is there. So Krishna has thought about each and every person. So we are human beings. He has not thought about us. Definitely he has. So that confidence that Krishna will protect, once that confidence is there, then fear vanishes. Then there is no fear. Then fearlessness comes. Look at Prahlad, 5-year-old. What was it? So he was fearless. He was like so fearless. His father was like great demon, and he was trying to kill him, plotting his murder every single day. What all he did, what all he tried. But he was so fearless. What was that confidence? And that confidence, that was trust in Krishna, that Krishna will protect. Krishna will always be there for me. Yeah? So that is a fearlessness. Yeah, but again, Prabhupada also explains here that fearlessness does not mean foolishness. So we should not go and give a hug to tiger like that. He will make you a breakfast or a meal. So that sense needs to be there. Yeah. So foolishness and fearlessness, the little bit of intelligence have to be, we have to use over there. Next is non-violence. So here, the non-violence which has been explained, so normally when we say non-violence, we go on bodily platform, like causing physical pain on somebody, or something like meat eating, so non-violence. So we should not cause violence on animals. But here, Krishna is talking about the internal violence, which sometimes we cause by our words. In fact, if you are guiding somebody and if you confuse them, that as well is violence. So we should never, when we, if we like children we have in our family, or we have some younger ones, or maybe some friends who are dependent on us for some guidance, because we are always above somebody and below someone like that. So we should always remember that we should never cause that emotional violence as well. Whenever you see that somebody is coming to you for a guidance, if you are not aware about that aspect, then maybe study and then give them a guidance. Even children, you should always guide them in such a way that when they go out of that conversation, they are more empowered than confused. So you should not confuse people. So that confusion which has been caused, that is actually called violence. So here Krishna is talking about that violence. And while I was just coming to temple, there's a MACD outside, and they will display this Happy Meal menu. And I'm just thinking that something which has base in cruelty, how can it lead to happiness on your plate? Isn't it? Just a simple thing, because we have been brainwashed, and the media and everything is like, sometimes when I see these ads, like, the words they'll use, juicy and things for animal flesh, I'm like, it really gives me, makes me violent like that. So that I'm not able to understand that how can something which, so you torture something so much that it lives its life, and then that gets converted into a happy meal. So that's really, we really need to think where we are going as a society, isn't it? So that's the physical part of violence. And then the next quality is equanimity. Here Prabhupada is saying that we should not have very strong likes and dislikes. Sometimes I have a 12-year-old, so she'll say, "Mommy, I hate that." I'm like, why do you hate that? Like, hate is such a strong word. Why would you say that I hate it? I hate that particular thing. And then we have a discussion, and then somehow I try to agree with her, or sometimes explain her that maybe some other things can be used. So a very strong likes or dislikes is not good for our spiritual life, our spiritual progress. So that's something which we have to take care of when we endeavor in our life. And then there is satisfaction. So satisfaction, and we spoke about it in fearlessness, that when we feel that Krishna will protect, then we are always in a state of satisfaction. So anything goes as per the plan or does not go as per the plan, we are fine, we are okay, because we know that it's Krishna's plan. And definitely Krishna is more intelligent than me. So let his plan work instead of my plan working. So that's something which, which will allow us to always be in that satisfaction state, and then positively endeavor towards doing best, because Krishna doesn't like procrastination. So we should not be lazy. And the next one is austerity. So austerity is something like when you do fasts, yeah, when you do something for Krishna, or when you chant, when you spend some time for Krishna. So if somebody says, I love you, and then that's just words, and they're not doing anything about it, then it's, like you come here and you like, Krishna, I really love you, but you don't do anything for him. So that's not really love. So that's just, joy exercise, really. So when we say that we love him, when we say that, Krishna, thank you so much that you have given me so much in my life, I'm not really deserving. You have to return. And in that return, you have to do something for him. You have to spend some time reading. So Bhagavad Gita, he has given this text to us. So we have to read what he has said. So these are God's words. So we have to read it. We have to chant his name. So we have to spend time. So when we chant, we invest our time. Time is money, isn't it? When we are investing time into Krishna, he knows that, oh, you are spending some time. You spent 10 minutes for me. Thank you so much. And then you will see how he reciprocates. And you will see his hand in your life. So austerity is, again, we do in any other relationship as well. Husband and wife or child, isn't it? When we, for our child as well, if they are not well, we get up at night. We can't even sleep. So, there is love between us and child. So why that love is not there between us and Krishna? Because he is the eternal Father. This child, this soul is my child in this life. Next life, we don't know where that soul will be. So, but Krishna is always going to be my eternal Father. In this life or next life, and for so many millions of life, I have taken birth. So that understanding we need to have. And, that understanding which we previously saw, that illusion is killed by philosophy. So we have to understand the Shastra, and through Shastra, then these concepts will start becoming clear. And then we are able to give respect to things the way they deserve the respect. For example, if we have Rishi Sunak coming here, okay, and then there is a local MP as well. So both of them are there. And then, say for example, somebody is going and trying to garland MP. What will the MP say? Oh no, Rishi Sunak is there. First you go and garland him, because he is more respectable. So you should do that first and then come to me, like that. So when we understand the Shastra, we understand what is the status of what in our life. So the relationships we have, our life, we are able to then put things on priority. Otherwise, we go into illusion, and then you see that, it causes a lot of pain. So that's austerity. And then there is charity. So in charity, it is said that we should give at least 50% of our income in charity. So which is so hard, isn't it, for most of us to even think 50%, how will I survive? How will I pay my bills? So you think that Shastras have said this, but if you do that, 50% is a big number. And if you do give 50% of it to charity, then when you work, you don't work for yourself. Then you work for Krishna. When you work for divinity, then you know that, oh, I have to, and then you do more, like that. So, so we have to give. Giving is very important. It is release, as well as it gives us, it puts us into what do we say? Because if you see, we are always taking. COVID has shown us, the oxygen supply which was less. It has shown us we are breathing all the time, day in and day out. One, inhale, exhale, and inhale is not there, gone, poof, isn't it? So delicate, so fragile we are, but we take it for so much granted that Krishna has provided everything. One day sun doesn't come, what will happen? So everything we have taken for granted. So all these things which Krishna has provided and which we are taking for free, we should start giving towards it to whatever capacity you can. So charity doesn't just mean the monetary, but you can also say, for example, seva dan, we say, isn't it? So you can do volunteering work like that. And then I'm just trying to see if we have anything. There is a lot to cover though. Yeah. Yes, I think what we can do is we can open up for questions if anyone has any questions, and I'll try my best to answer. Maybe we can, before that, I can quickly summarize. So we looked at chapter 10, verse 4 and 5 of Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 10, the title of the chapter is The Opulence of Absolute, where Krishna is talking about his opulence, what all he has. And then he lists all these qualities which we discussed: intelligence, knowledge, asammoha, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction. So we discussed all these qualities. Then we saw that how good and bad both come from Krishna. Why does bad come from Krishna? Ye yatha mam prapandyante, which means what you want, Krishna will give you. Krishna gives you an intelligence to pick up a cigarette packet. The same, the same energy will also give you intelligence to come to temple. Yeah, so it is our free will which we apply over there. Krishna provides everything which we want. So we have to depend on Krishna. And when we are dependent on Krishna, when we have full confidence, when we are Krishna confident, then there is no fear. Then we become like Prahlad Maharaj, who is a fearless 5-year-old, not worried about anything, but he knows that Krishna will protect him, like that. Yeah? Yes, any questions if we have? Before we close, we will have Aarti now at 7 o'clock. No questions? Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Is there someone coming or no? Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanumanji ki, Shri Shri Gauranitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. We're now going to sing the Gaura Arti. If you don't know the words, they're up there on the screen in the top right corner. Hare Krishna. Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Koshobha. Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Koshobha. Janavi Tatavane Jagamanarobha. Jagamanalobha Dakshineni Taicha Bame Gadadhara Dakshineni Taicha Bame Gadadhara Nikate Advaita Srinivasa Chatradhara